Before we broke for lunch, we were hashing through a bunch of Instagram conversations, and I was reading one out loud and basically saying it as my eyes were going over it for the first time ever, and just reading whatever was on the paper, and I read out the word NIGGAS, which I hope that was not offensive to anyone. It was certainly not meant to be offensive to anyone. I do not use that word. And it was merely, I should have been looking first before I said it, whatever I said out loud, to edit if there were, any offensive words. So I want to apologize on the record for that. Now, with regard to the songs, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I did not mean any.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Boy, you still drinking? Where you at? I gotta do it for Boo. These niggas lacking. Like, they're not doing enough to honor him or whatever. I don't know that you can say, you can say, oh, that means they don't have guns on them, but that would be quite a stretch.
My hot nigga. Go ahead, cowboy. You got mad squabbles, boy.
These niggas lack.
All right, so, yeah, I'm gonna be fair. In this instance, when it's in court and it's being read, all right, it might be the one place where can't nobody get offended. Let me put it this way: if it was a person that's a part of the KKK and would have sent out all type of racist texts and all of that crap, you wouldn't want the judge, no matter the color, to read the text to the jurors so they could see the intent and how hate-filled it was. So some of y'all are like, that's a bad comparison. No, it's not. When it's in court, bruh, everybody can read it. You shouldn't have wrote it down. Now, concerts and all that crap, that's on you. I'm not here to preach anything like that. But other than that, you might catch a theme today that says that Judge Paige Reese Whitaker is over the defense. And I got some clips to help out with that.
If we look at it in a real clear version, it's going to show some song playing.
Yes, Your Honor. And I'm
the song significant?
No, Your Honor. The song's not significant.
Okay, so while a song is playing, Maine snaps a screenshot of it or screen grab or whatever of it, and Maine puts the words one by one on, ... on there, or what?
No, Your Honor. This is a whole other person's Instagram that posts one by one, and they are sending this screenshot between each other.
Okay, so some random human in the universe who is somehow, whomever has access to through Instagram, has, while listening to a song, posted one by one ... And it doesn't matter who that is or what that means. Maine sends that snap of the screenshot to Mr. Stillwell, who then likes the image. And the state's theory is that by liking an image that says one by one, because it's several hours after the murder of his compatriots, that indicates that he intends to get revenge for the murder. Am I following your theory?
Correct, Your Honor.
So basically, they homies, what's his name? SB homies got killed. Two of them got killed, and somebody was basically trolling him or something like that, and he hit the he tapped double or something like that, and bro, we gonna get our lick back, all this stuff and everything like that. That's what that was supposed to mean, but it gets more confusing. Check this out.
It is relevant that he would be even concerned about this.
Okay.
Or that his
Accessing
phone-
a news article does not in any way indicate you are concerned about
Okay, not
anything. You have accessed a news article.
So when you access the news article and it appears multiple times.
Okay, and you do not know whether he searched it or whether somebody sent him the link. Is that right?
That is true, Your Honor.
Okay.
But the fact that people are sending the link of that particular murder, and we have calls on the wiretap in which they talk about, I think there's a call with Demekion Garlington in which people ask, why did they shoot up the house? And Demekion Garlington says, because their homeboy got killed in Mechanicsville last night. This is what.
And is that the day after Drinks is killed?
This is a few days later after Drinks is killed.
No, when Garlington says, because homeboy got killed last night.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, that one. But there's some other ones as well. So I think that this is relevant and not substantially prejudicial given the timeline of what has occurred between really March.
The yet to be established timeline. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, but that's because we're still putting.
I know you're still putting evidence up. I know.
And my 403 objection isn't just prejudice, it's also confusion to the jury because, and I think this is kind of proving my point or my argument in some ways because what I'm trying to avoid is we are on the 2-yard line of getting to the end of this case. And it seems to me that there is a potential that the state is just going to try to throw a bunch of stuff out there.
I think that's what the state's been doing this whole trial.
Well, I think I'm concerned about this with Viverito. Like, for instance, when they just talked about the post by Shell Cal, there is no evidence that I know of that Shannon has ever seen that post. And with this, we have no idea as we sit here, and this is why I'm concerned about these Viverito files where it's just kind of a bunch of things thrown in there. We have no idea if it was a link sent, if it was a search. We have no idea of any of that.
Right.
And the jury will have no idea.
And you will have to point that out to them.
Yeah, so there's a two-way to look at that. That could be, what happens with a lot of people that AKA return to the scene of the crime BS that goes on. That is true. Or he could have been like, damn, bro, I wonder what happened over there. Like, let's be fair. If you ever seen a fire on the side of the freeway and you check and you wonder what happened, or if you ever heard of something that happened down the street or seen a bunch of bodies laid out and you don't want to stop and investigate your own damn self, you check the news. That's why we check the news. But apparently, I guess you can't do that every part of the state. Listen to the rest of the
Point that out to them. So it's relevant, again, because of the low threshold for relevance. And it is, in terms of confusion, I don't think that they're going to be able to establish more than that this was accessed.
These were accessed, these were searched for by the defendant. There's no messages where he received them. I've gone through the phone extracting. He went on to Safari and we either went to Fox 5 and clicked on the Windsor, whatever the title is, Windsor Homicide in Atlanta, or he typed in Windsor Homicide in Atlanta and that's what was accessed with the Fox 5.
All right, and this is coming in through...
It's phone number.
I know. Which witness is going to be explaining, here's how we get these things, and here's what we can tell from them?
It'll be a combination of Kevin Packer and Marissa Viverito.
Well, let's hope it's mainly Leon Packer, who seems to actually have expertise in cell phone search dump things. I don't know about Viverito's ability to say any of this.
And this may change after this conversation. My understanding going into today that the state's plan was just to admit the dump through Leon Packer and then have Viverito explain everything. And that's my concern.
And does she have the expertise to be able to explain any of this?
So, Your Honor, Viverito has probably gone through 500 phones. She is in the gang unit, has actively phone dumps and Cellbrite. When I personally am taking in preps Detective Leon Packer, who's currently with the FBI.
Okay, and I know that he has expertise in it because he's testified about it in other of my own cases.
Correct, Your Honor. So what the state intends to do with Detective Leon Packer he was asked, Detective Vito goes to Leon Packer, as she's done hundreds of times, can you help me extract this phone? I have a search warrant for it. Yes.
Okay.
Boom. Leon Packer will describe for the jury how XRY works, gray key works, all of that. what it means, what does the data come like when you get a message. He's not going to be publishing stuff because he never reviewed the content, but he was going to discuss and talk about how the data is kept. I may use like I'm not intending on using what we're litigating now with Detective
Right.
Leanpack because he didn't personally go through this stuff. I may show like the central XRY, home screen that shows messages in Safari, but he's obviously.
All right. Well, I don't think messages, I think most people grasp that messages can be extracted from phones.
Because the judge knows, no matter how many times you've done it, until you've gotten certain qualifications and all that crap, you're not an expert. Sorry, darling. That's how that goes. That's the way that the cookie crumbles. So let's just get back into it, because the judge is basically trying to let y'all know y'all in the midst of losing this case even further. You better have a real expert out here.
So this is trying to identify people that various people are hanging and or sleeping with as either on their side or with another group.
Your Honor, I will not use those pages. I'll skip to, I won't bury the lead. Let's go to 8921 and 8922.
All
right. So 8922, OG King says, tell that girl to stay in Summerhill, which is where YFN, If Gang, what territory is. This shit's deeper than rap. She can't be both. You're either with us or you're against us. There's no in between. She gets beat the fuck up next time she's in the park.
That. If you want to have that's at least talking about something directly that seems to be indicating this is more than who you rap with.
Now, Your Honor, I'm going to object. I understand that you're finding relevant.
Because your client is nowhere in this
Right. I just
conversation?
This is not OG.
Okay.
This is OG King, my client, and I don't understand how this is furthering anything.
Okay.
And, Your Honor, this is the group thread that he's a part of. So it's multiple YSL members talking about beating the hell out of this person.
Well.
They say beat the FUCK up next time. I think it's highly relevant to talk about exacting violence on a rival street.
Well, it would be highly relevant maybe if any of these people were in trial for beating up this woman. So I don't know about highly relevant.
I guess I should say, Your Honor, I shouldn't have said relevant is not the word I meant. I meant gang co-conspirator statements of identifying an opposition gang member and exacting violence, which in the states.
Saying they're going to exact violence.
Correct, which ends up being murder in the state's position with.
Well, nobody who's sleeping with both of the gang members or op gangs ends up murdered as far as I know of with regard to this indictment, right?
And Your Honor, I guess what I meant is, they're not just talking about, like, the state feels it is gang co-conspirator 801 D2E for them to be discussing exacting violence on a rival gang member amongst each other. That's the state's position. And defendant Stillwell is a part of this group thread. And so the state believes that
Well,
this
it's
is
hardly an
admissible.
adoptive admission because these group, apparently everybody this age just spends the entirety of their lives on 700 million different group threads that unless you were watching it at the time, you don't go back and say, well, what did these people say 15 minutes ago? Because it's, 1,000 different tweets or threads or whatever comments by the time they pull up their phone and see what's going on the group thread.
Yes, Your Honor.
I just think we're so far afield.
We are very far afield.
We're talking about Unfunk having sex.
I mean, yeah, just 403, I'm excluding all of this.
Your Honor, can I go to the thread where they're talking about shooting wife and Lucci?
I mean, yeah, that would at least have some, cogent potential connection to this trial, yes. Where would that be?
Go to page 9839. The whole YFN is at the Chevron Blue Ivory shooting a video. Lucci's out there, gray Audi, Lucci's in it, and a black X6 truck. My rental doesn't have paper plates, but it can slide.
That seems relevant.
All right, pull up with the shit.
Mr.
Hadn't found 9839 yet, but whatever you're reading sounds relevant.
Are we getting rid of everything?
I will check between, but I wanted to get to the most 801 D2 statement I could possibly find that I think this satisfies the street gang element of trying to shoot wife and Lucci.
All right.
Atkins could have played a white pimp or a white gang member or a wigger from the streets. I don't know. The smoothness that he just said that shit with, she get beat the fuck up. Like, bro, what? What? He might be the older brother, bro. I don't know, man. I gotta get Atkins on here for an interview. I don't think nobody from the state coming on here, but
Trying to get straight who they're even going to war with. That one. If they even go to war, because they're broke and it's hard to go to war if they're broke.
My nigga.
No objections, Your Honor. You didn't need money for war. Guns cost, lawyers cost, bullets cost, rental cars cost. Slat.
And they had the memorial for Big Boo. I'm trying to find that page number, but it says we have to do it for Big Boo. These people are lacking, as in they don't have firearms on them, so they're easier to.
Well, I mean, they're talking about drinking.
Right.
Boy, you still drinking? Where you at? I gotta do it for Boo. These niggas lacking. Like, they're not doing enough to honor him or whatever. I don't know that you can say, I mean, you can say, oh, that means they don't have guns on them, but that would be quite a stretch,
Yeah.
given the context in which it comes up.
Yes, Your Honor. We will not use that page.
While maybe artistically clever, I'm Picasso, chalk work, op work. Those references, without specific links, really make, through his music, through his words in this music, create the impression, and I'm afraid will create the impression to the jury, that Mr. Stillwell is a killer without, and that impression will be made through fictional art as opposed to the evidence in this case. So again, without a direct nexus, we are going to object under 404A and 403.
All right, so is there anything in this song that is significant or distinctive from whatever's in the other couple of songs?
Yes, I just left that boy on the curb, call me Picasso. Mr. Donovan Thomas Jr. was shot dead on his side and fell onto the curb when he was murdered. It would be that distinctive from the other songs that we presented, Your Honor. And he also walked up with his chopper. We do believe that one of the murder weapons used to kill Donovan Thomas was a 7.62 by 2.8 rifle.
Well, and that's the
Well, by
thing.
y'all's theory, nobody walked up on anybody for that one.
That's true, they drove by.
Yeah.
That is accurate, they drove by, but the fact is, he's talking about a chopper weapon. But you're right, they did.
Okay, and is there evidence that he fell onto the curb after being,
Yes, he fell to the ground. That's when, I think,
well, everybody, I would assume, after they're dead, collapses. Anything about a curb is what I'm asking about.
he was outside between, when you look at the surveillance video, his vehicle and that other vehicle, which was close to a curb, is what.
So it's a stretch.
I mean, I think maybe sidewalk didn't fit into the lyric very well, so curb.
Well, he didn't fall on the sidewalk either, did he?
He did. He was outside.
Well, that's what I just asked you.
He was outside.
I knew he was outside.
He fell into a parking lot.
Yeah, parking lot. Was it the curb of the parking lot or just the parking lot?
The curb in the parking lot, me.
I know. And was his body in the parking lot or on the curb?
Was on the curb.
Curb. He was in the parking lot, he was on the curb.
Okay, that's what I asked, is did he fall onto the curb? And y'all are now saying yes?
Yes.
I would disagree with that.
All right, can somebody pull up the video and let's look?
I don't think it's a camera view, Your Honor.
Okay, so we don't actually have the evidence of it. Do we have the crime scene photos?
Yes.
It's I think the state would probably agree with me. If you look at the video, there's a car that goes by. No one walks up. There's a car that drives by. Mr. Thomas is shot. He reacts and kind of turns and it goes off camera view. And there's a car in the parking lot. And my understanding is he collapses. He was standing near a sidewalk when he was hit
Kind of
with
up
bullets.
against an SUV, right?
And then he collapses in the parking lot. I believe behind the SUV that is in the surveillance video.
He's not in the parking lot, so
Don't we have crime scene photos?
we do.
Now, regardless of all the clips that you watched in the previous commentary, I got to be fair, square, obvious, and honest. She's actually being very, very fair. The overt acts part that some of y'all was getting mad and stuff, I can see the comments in the chat and all that stuff. Let's be fair, bro. Stop playing stupid, some of y'all. Not all of y'all. Of course, not all of y'all. But some of y'all, like, some of y'all have this mindset where they're not bragging about what their homies did. I don't believe that they smoked anybody. But at the same time, there are victims. Do I honestly believe that Yaki Shannon killed Donovan Thomas? No, I don't. But what I can say is, if they was bragging about what their homies did, which a lot of cats do all the time, that's on them. You gotta imagine if you were a lawyer, how many times you had head scratching moments like, why the F would you even put yourself in that situation to say stuff like that? And that's what the furtherance part is. If you had a basketball team, and your basketball team was rappers as well, and you was out there whooping ass with the basketball team that you had, and we talking about on the court, off the court, and you say in one of your songs, yeah, we beat them on the court and then we beat them off the court. That's so you can intimidate the next individuals or potentially intimidate us and ours. It just is what it is. I would like for people to understand something. Technically, the defense is supposed to be the bad guys and the prosecution is supposed to be the good guys. Technically, because of the code of ethics that the prosecution and defense are supposed to adhere to, the judge has to lean towards that the state is telling the truth. But I think today, even the judge had to go, bruh, come on, man. Come on. You clearly bullshitting me. You ain't serious. It was a couple of moments where I swear to you, if she could have said, man, you know what, let me sleep on this. Let me holler back at y'all in the morning. I think she actually would have did it. Be fair. What have they proven though? They've proven that previous statement. They just trying to throw a bunch of stuff and see what sticks. Yeah, that's called painting the illustration. I have to paint your guy as a very bad man. And if I'm able to paint your guy as a very bad man, then so be it, and there you have it. But ultimately, like I said, I don't think that they did it, but I ain't gonna hold you. It's certain lyrics that's in those damn songs. I'm like, yeah, you might want to do a do-over. And this should be a warning for all rappers. Leave the streets alone. Whoever you got in the streets, tell them you love them, but leave them alone. Can't do nothing but bring you down. The song that Shannon had, he actually was a decent rapper. I'm like, buddy ain't that bad. But you just threw away these years of your life trying to be something to somebody who was putting on everybody else. And so y'all wanted to make big waves and big splashes and stuff like that when you didn't have to. See, there's this thing that's going on the internet where it's like, oh, somebody has to put me on, somebody has to put me on, somebody has to put me on. I seen this with, I think it was Nivea or whoever, whatever Lil Wayne's first baby mama is. I don't think it was Nivea, somebody else, right? But Lil Wayne's first baby mama, her brother came out and was screaming about, oh, man, he just need to put me on and all this stuff. And then I just seen some dude that was FBG Duck's cousin on a clip that No Jumper posted talking about he ain't never did nothing for me. He ain't never, and all that. Bro, y'all grown as hell. Don't nobody owe y'all nothing. They don't. You watching, sir, nobody owes you shit. You go to work, you're being told, hey, trade in your talents and I'll give you a paycheck for your time. That's the exchange. Nobody owes you shit. You're not owed a promotion. You're not owed anything. So when people are saying all this shit like that, bro, I'm just kind of like, damn. But back to what happened today. The state looking pretty damn dumb, pretty damn desperate, pretty stupid. But I'm not going to say all of these lyrics ain't furthering YSL, the quote-unquote gang, because it's 100% meant to do that. We can't keep playing so damn stupid all the time. Now, with that being said, if it's gotten to this, when you gotten this far in, and this is their final stretch, I'm still not seeing how they end this in 1 to 2 weeks. I'm not seeing it at all. I don't even, because one, the defense, or they only gonna have like 4 people? 4 people each? 8 people? They gonna get that done in one day? How's the opening statement, closing arguments gonna look? Then they get to refute that and all that stuff and come back and double back? That's going to take about 2 days. You telling me we got all of this evidence like I said, bro, I think the end of December, beginning of January is when this is going to end. So we'll see. They come back to court on Tuesday because we got Veterans Day. So shout out to the vets. But other than that, nah, today was just hilarious. Paige is kind of done with this shit. She wants to wrap it up. But I don't even think I think they still got like 100 people still left on their witness list because the state has to know. And I'm pretty sure they do know. You're not just trying to win this case. You're trying to win the next, other 8 or 12 people or however it's going? 8 or 12 other individuals? And what do you want them to do? You want them to plead out? Y'all could double back with another plea deal in the middle of trial or before you go to trial or all this shit. So all the stuff that they're working on right now goes over to everybody else. That's why when you heard YC try to sever, like she was going to do that, but he really was going for the limited instructions. Bruh, it's about to get ugly for the other people now because the state has to come away with something. So if they're able to get some type of conviction out of this shit, then why not? And some of y'all gonna come with the it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you. But as far as strategies of war and trying to win, and this is what they're trying to do, absolutely secure a win, well, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But check out the little Dirk video that I posted, bro. He got 2 new felonies. 2 of them. He already had the murder for hire, but the other 2, and that nice little plane ride he took the day before Quando Rondo, or is it the day after? I don't even remember. But you know how you can remember? Hit that link in the bottom. I'll catch you on the next one.